Yeah, well, that's actually an issue that I've already
like,
had
it's
with
working,
it.
you know?
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the post show, guys. Which you're hearing on a different day than the actual show. Before we get into what we left on a cliffhanger, it's shit going down with my computer again. I'm sure that I'm repeating myself from a previous episode. Touchpad doesn't work. Touchpad moves the mouse, but it doesn't actually click. You can't click with it.
You get engaged by first putting your finger on the touchpad and following the cursor around. You're like, it sucks you in. You're like, oh, this is working.
Mm-hmm.
And then no.
Then no, it just doesn't.
No clicking happens. Yeah, that's a little.
Does this taste weird to you?
It does.
What's wrong with it?
No, it's nothing. It just was on the counter or something for a little bit. So it started to.
Okay, all right. So it's not just my imagination.
I didn't realize. I turned around and I was like, "Oh, you might."
It felt cold. Yeah, I reached for some tropical juice.
Nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah, I reached for some tropical juice, but it's got a stinging flavor.
Yeah.
Seriously,
it's got a little bit of
tang.
alcoholic fermentation going on there a little bit.
I thought you were going to say I mixed champagne with it or something.
I didn't.
Nope, it's not that at all. It's just
it was just a big bottle, and we didn't have room for it in the fridge, so it was just out on the counter, and
all right then,
unopened. But then when we opened it, it got it's warmer now, so it got a little. It's the end of the bottle. It's a little.
Yeah. No, wait a minute. That wasn't the end of the bottle. It seemed like
I'm not drinking it. Yeah.
Fine. But you know what?
We'll probably get rid of it. But
let's get into the meat of this. You gave me a friggin' bacon flavored jelly bean.
Yeah.
At the end of the last show,
just a pink jelly bean in a bacon shaped metal tin.
And he gave me one, and let me explain my frame of mind on this one. First, what hit me was oh, it's got a smoky flavor, kind of like jelly bean. It's kind of like a bacon.
You want to have another one?
No, I don't want to have another one.
You can get back into the. I had one before, and I don't want to have one now.
I don't want to have it again.
What the story behind these is that some years ago, a girl I was dating at the time got my brother a birthday gift, and I think she got him a bottle of. I think she got him a bottle of gin or something, or some some nice little gift. But she also packaged with it these bacon beans and gummy bacon. And for some reason, this got put into my I think my brother never had any or tried them or opened it, and it was just put into my room.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try one of these. This could be delicious, and it tastes not so good. Right?
It tastes. I think what weirds me out was okay, I had the smoky flavor first, and then I kept chewing it and it's got the sweet jelly bean flavor, I guess, or you're still expecting it.
Smoke flavored jelly bean.
Yeah, it just tastes like smoke and gristle.
There's none of the succulence of meat or the richness that you get with meat. It's just very smoky.
Yeah, it's if you dipped bacon in sugar or something.
It feels like when you smell burnt hair. That's
yeah.
You're oh, this isn't so good. Oh, this is still in my mouth.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it!
You spit it out, huh?
Yeah, I spit it out. I chewed it for a minute. I did not want to swallow it.
He didn't immediately spit it out. It was he was tasting it.
I was trying to give it the good old college try, and I'm tasting it It just there was no point of that was enjoyable. Bacon flavored.
For some reason, I was oh, maybe he'll like it. Maybe he'll think this is good. And I didn't like it, but I was I just felt maybe I just don't like this, but some people like it. Because it's it wasn't marketed as a gag gift, I think, when we bought it. It was in a place where they were oh, this is a cool thing.
Well, have you ever been to thinkgeek.com? Or something like that, or
they have one of the overboard stuff like that. Yeah,
okay, there's
caffeinated soap or whatever.
Yeah, there's bacon flavor. There's bacon soap.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's bacon. What was the other thing that you had? Bacon jelly.
Gummy bacon.
Gummy bacon.
There's bacon everything.
Bacon
yeah.
Band-Aids,
Like
which look like giant scars. Let's be real. Bacon itself looks like a scar. Why would you want that?
Like you could put.
Or was it like a
bacon-
bacon-scented Band-Aid or
Isn't
something
it like
like that?
Jim Carrey who puts strips of bacon all over his face and quotes some line from Hannibal Lecter or whatever?
Oh, that
Or
makes sense.
Silence of the Lambs. He's like, Silence of the Lambs. And he's got bacon all over his face. Yeah, because it's gruesome.
God, it doesn't seem like a word anymore. Bacon. Bacon.
Listen, man.
Bacon.
Why do we bake cookies and cook bacon?
Shut up. Don't do that. But let's talk about
Bacon?
yeah, let's talk about how bacon got trendy. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's very annoying.
It is very well. It used to be like
This was a few years ago too, when it was like very.
like I remember I was actually like on a survey like what website do you use or something like that, and I like helped someone with a photography project, and I said reddit.com, and to show like a little sign for it, I actually put like a drawing of like a narwhal and bacon and clock, and I'm like, when does the narwhal bacon?
Yeah.
And I think that it was the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that really should be dragged out and shot.
Yeah. It's just bacon became like such an internet like
Because everyone loves bacon.
yeah, that's the thing. But it's like bacon is okay. Like,
Bacon's
and
good.
then it was epic mealtime. Had a crazy
Yeah, bacon
amount of-
strips and
they-
bacon strips and bacon.
the shirts
Yeah.
and they would weave bacon together. and
Although, yeah, like the
bacon just
idea,
got played out. Yeah.
the idea of a bacon weave, like at the time, was like, oh my god, that sounds incredible. But like, once you have a bite of bacon, you know what you're getting into, and then once you realize you have an entire blanket left of bacon, it slowly becomes a very, it becomes an ordeal to finish.
Bacon is like an embellishment. It's not
Yes,
like a
bacon does not detract from
you don't
things.
wanna
Bacon,
like cups of mayonnaise. You know what I mean? You
Exactly.
don't want to eat solid bites of
bacon doesn't
as a
detract
meal.
from things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can put bacon on pancakes. You can put bacon on burgers. You can put You can wrap things in bacon, like sausage and shrimp.
Yeah, it's almost it's like
Have you ever had bacon wrapped scallops?
Yes,
It's very good.
very good.
Very good
The,
stuff.
the fat and the flavoring, the smoky flavor, the richness. It all adds to.
You can add it to your sandwich, and you go from having like an okay sandwich,
Yeah.
like
There's a
of
little
good
bit of
sandwich.
chew there, a little bit of crunch, little some texture as well in the sandwich. I mean, it's just, but it's not its own thing. Like,
It by its own thing, it's like it's good for 2 or 3 strips.
yeah.
If you have more than that, then you're entering dangerous territory.
and people play it up like
Like it's the best thing to ever happen.
just
It's like the god of food.
it's like so accepted that you're super safe saying that. So it's like a cliche like thing that everybody is like, oh, I love bacon though.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna disagree with you? I guess, but. Eh.
I think my I guess affinity for bacon, I'm not even gonna call it a like. The fact that I was able to keep like a nice amount of bacon up in my liking sphere,
Yeah.
in my palate,
What?
a likeness for bacon in my palate. I just babbled there. I like bacon just simply because a roundabout way of saying, if I was like writing for the SATs, a roundabout way of saying I like bacon growing up because I didn't have it all the fucking time. I
Yeah.
didn't have it on burgers.
It was a
I didn't
nice,
have it on sandwiches. I had it
thing.
maybe like once in a while,
It's a
and
nice
that was when we
variation.
decided to actually cook for breakfast and not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have
yeah.
cereal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't like. There are some people when they like realize they're adults, they're like, I can cook bacon whenever the hell I want.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's a pain in the ass as well.
It is.
The best way to do it is actually in a microwave with paper towels.
That's how I've always done it.
Um,
That is exactly how I've always
do it
done
in
it.
the pan. You just
You have to clean up the pan afterwards.
everything around the pan.
You have to like scramble it in the pan a bit.
There's gonna be such a it's. I mean, it's one thing if you're dicing bacon and for a dish and you're doing it in the pan or
Yeah, I think-
pancetta or something.
Oh shit! The last time that I did that, we were actually like I cooked bacon because my fiance was making pizzas.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, well, we're going to... First off, she didn't want to do it in the microwave, which was kind of dumb to me. I'm like, look, just do it this way. It's simpler. She
Yeah.
did it in a pressure cooker oven. Pressure oven.
On an oven.
A convection oven.
Maybe that's good.
I mean, it was like okay. It wasn't like it's still bacon. You
like,
know the result that comes out of that.
There's a lot of fat in bacon, and a lot of it. So you don't need to add oil or add something. A lot of it'll melt off and it'll cook itself and
lubricates itself.
Self-lubricating bacon.
But I think what killed it, killed it for me was like the fact that the internet was all fucking over it, like you said, with Epic Mealtime and ThinkGeek.com, and my brother actually got a present once. I think it was like a stocking stuffer. Yeah. It was like the bacon Band-Aids. Mm-hmm. Of course, he's never used them because, like, well, we don't really use Band-Aids anymore. But I don't fucking want a strip of bacon to cover my cut.
Yeah. I should
Who
get
buys from that site?
I don't use Band-Aids enough to
warrant getting a novelty one.
I never use them. I'm like, oh, I got a cut, that'll heal.
Yeah, right.
That's my life now. How crazy. But I also don't like stumble like when I was 5 and like scrape my knee. So.
Yeah, there is that. Well, even if you scrape your knee, it's just kind of like, well, whatever now.
That used to suck, man.
Yeah, it used to be like the end of your day.
Knees? Like I haven't had a bloody knee in like 20 years. Like,
I used to have a scar. I think it was like this one right here, like a slight little discoloration. I remember falling in front of a library.
Yeah,
and it was
I remember like these events. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like it was like a stone walkway, but it was also like rough. It was kind of like sandpaper, you know what I mean? Like really coarse sandpaper. And I fell on it, and there was just like a gaping hole in my hand, and I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
And that was like the worst thing ever. And I remember having like a giant circle on my hand, just like, well, this is it now. This is my thing now.
My brother scraped his knee real bad. He had a big gash, and they bandaged it all up. And then, like, over that summer, he probably fell, like, 5 more times. And they weren't, like, really... He wouldn't have probably gotten hurt on those falls, but he already had this cut.
Yeah.
So it, like, reopened it. You know what I mean? Ooh. And it, like... It was just, like, a big, giant scab that, like, took a long time to heal. And he kept like bothering it. Yeah, by like hitting it or something, and it would reopen and reopen.
And it looks like.
And then one time it reopened, and there was a pebble inside.
Oh Jesus!
Like the first time it reopened or whatever, they were like.
I think the worst part about this is you're like motioning at your knee, and I already feel like iffy about
that. So like
that.
when they first bandaged it up, there was a small rock within his knee, like
yeesh.
In the cartilage, whatever. See this. See that thing?
Yeah, I see it.
On my shin, there's like a little mark. It used to be differently shaped, I think. Anyway, I was on rollerblades and we were going to this skate park when I was a kid, and it wasn't open yet. We were impatient, so we climbed the fence in our rollerblades and.
In your rollerblades? Yeah, you fucking moron.
They worked. No, this isn't where I got hurt. They worked as almost like
how presumptuous of me.
The front wheel you could hook into the links of the fence and use it as like a climbing boot.
Oh, all right.
Which is cool, but once so to deter, I guess this is a thing that happens, and they don't want people to do that, so to deter them, imagine a garbage can with no bottom, and a metal chain is run through it, and that's what's chained onto the vert ramp. You know, like the U-shaped ramp or whatever.
Yeah, the vert ramp.
So this is like, they're just at the bottom of the ramp. So we decide we're going to try to do the vert ramp anyway.
And jump over it?
Just jump over it at the right time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I dropped down in, and by the time I got to the bottom, that's like when you're going the fastest.
Yeah.
So I was going way too fast. And so I was just like, abort. And I just veered off the side of the thing, but anyway, I went right into something, boom, and just like slammed my shin into it at top speed.
Oh,
and it was so like, it looked like, I thought I was looking at the bone. It was probably just hit so hard that there was no blood there or something. It was like really white.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It didn't even really bleed. It was like a weird thing. It was.
Want to know how I got these scars?
How?
Fucking surgery, man.
Yeah,
dude. I got
usually you wouldn't have
ACL surgery.
I fell on 2 knives at the same time.
No, I stabbed myself just kind of so I look like a cyborg. It's awesome. Yeah, no, I got ACL surgery 2 times. The first one I realized like
on each leg too.
Yeah, no, it was the same fucking thing. Different shit though. I for some reason they both kind of gave out at the same time. This knee I found out something was wrong. Like I was at a Sweet 16 party, and I was just kind of like dancing and just like hear it crumple and give out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly, right. Every time I hear like a crumpling sound, I always just kind of like
the worst word.
Just seize up with my knees.
Yeah.
And like since then, it just kind of like gave out. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Joints are like your body's.
And then this one was because I was like getting off the bus or something.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh shit, now this one's busted.
All your joints are like a weird thing for your body. It's like such a weird. Like they're not. It's hard to have something that moves and stays together.
Yep.
It's just
It just weirds me the hell out, and ugh, like it's one of those things. Like if you know you could live your life over again, this would be the thing that I would be fucking anticipating every goddamn second.
Yeah.
No, not even easy on my knees. It's kind of like I know this is going to happen, and it's going to suck all over again. It's like 6 months of my life down the drain.
It's do you remember that song that came out that was like a college speech set to a beat?
Yeah, I think so.
Like it was like I have one piece of advice for you. Like I can tell you a lot, but like if I could give you one piece of advice, it's to always wear sunscreen.
Yeah. And then you're free to wear sunscreen. That's the one.
He goes through like all the other advice, and then he like closes the quotes with like sunscreen is what I know for sure. But like all his advice is like life advice, and one of the pieces of advice is like. Something like
Boz Luhrmann, that's the one.
Be kind to your knees, you'll miss them when they're gone. Like,
yeah, and that fucking happened. This shit happened when I was 17.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
I'm glad it happened at a point where I'm like resilient to bounce back from that, because I'm pretty sure like if this happened when I was 50, then it would be like, oh well, you can't do that anymore. We're not going to operate on you. We're not going to fix your knees. What? Why not? Because
they replaced my dad's knees.
Oh yeah, I think at that point you don't even get like surgery to fix it, and you're able to keep all the parts. Like they'll just like replace it.
This was like, he got replacements, but like this was over 10 years ago, and I think now that they can do like less invasive stuff to injections and things. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to think about, but yeah. Do you have any like surgery stories? You ever
had surgery.
You've never had surgery?
No.
Fucking lucky you. Aside from like the knee one, the knees, I also got a hernia.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and it was like it was the most weirdest place. It was the weirdest place to have a hernia too. Although I guess it's like natural. It was like right fucking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. And I think I remember blaming it on the time. I was in show choir in the time, and I think I remember blaming it on this one part in a dance that we had to do where we had to like lift up our partner. And I think I got like paired up with the tallest girl. And I'm like, well, she's too fucking heavy. What do you want? I'm sorry I can't be a man about this. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, now I remember that. It was like, I can't do this now. And then once I like found out, like I was shaving down there, and I was like, oh, is that supposed to be normal? Weirdest way to bring it up. Okay, so that's my fucked up. I'm like anticipating what part of my body's gonna break next.
Okay.
I should take better care of myself. Probably.
Yeah, I've never had surgery. I don't know. I forget what I was gonna tell you though. It's something related, but
at least I've never had a broken bone. Like that was.
I broke my arm. Yeah.
Oh, how was that?
I was in kindergarten. I don't really remember it too much. I was in my backyard, and I have a. At the time, I'm like the kid on the block that's like into science and like bugs, insects. I know all about insects. I'm very into that.
Did you get that from Amazon Trail?
Yeah, probably. No, that wasn't.
Did you catch all the insects?
But I was like in kindergarten, and I used to have, like to take my toys and improvise with them to make things. So I had like a bucket from a sand bucket for the beach, and I had like a jump rope.
Yeah.
Rope. So that was like a rope. So I tied the jump rope one end to the handle of the bucket. Now I have a bucket on a rope. Okay. You're with me so far.
I'm so definitely with you. This is like a point and click adventure shit right here.
We had some trees in our yard. Yeah, it's like I'm like exactly. We had some trees in our yard.
I don't like where this is going.
One of the things that I would do is I knew that I could get different bugs overnight if I like set up
A trap.
trap for them. Basically, like let this sit overnight and then come back in the morning and see what is stuck here. So, and it usually involved putting some kind of food out in something that would, so they go to the food and then they drown in the water or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
So I would have like a bucket and I'd put some food in it and some water, and it was something I've done before and it's worked. And then I would use the bugs and like I would just put them in jars with water and other shit and let it sit and like ferment, and I'd make bug juice or whatever.
Ugh.
See what would happen. So okay, so I'm 5 anyway. I'm not like super sophisticated yet, but
You're not an entomologist or something like
later
that?
on I would actually get the cotton balls with the alcohol and net bugs and like euthanize them and then pin them and stuff.
Wow.
I did that a little bit.
Not bad. All right, so
It's cool.
go on with your thing. Go on with
It's
how you
hard to
broke
do,
yourself.
Man. It doesn't look as good as the ones in the museum.
Take us home.
So tree in my yard, kind of low branch, but it's still probably over an adult's head. But an adult could probably reach it.
Yeah.
If they reached up. I was very short, so I took my rope and I kind of slung it over like a grappling hook over the limb, and then but the other end doesn't come all the way down to me, because the bucket it's not long enough for both ends of the jump rope to be touching the ground. One end is up by the limb,
Yeah.
and the other end is on the ground with the bucket. So I climb the tree, which I've done a million times before, and my plan is to jump from the tree and grab the rope and kind of pull down as I come down, and the bucket will go up and I'll come down. And I've done this before actually, and
Okay.
it worked. But what happens is when I jump, I whiff the rope. I miss it. I reach for it and don't get it, and this wasn't something I planned for. And so in the mid jump, like I don't have like the
the dexterity or
like
something. The strength.
the rope isn't like there to like slow me down or whatever, and I just fall on my arm.
Oh, fuck.
My body weight on my arm, my
On the
forearm.
Okay.
My right forearm breaks, cracks in half.
Did it hurt at all?
Yes, it hurt very much.
Very much. All right.
I had probably the worst pain I felt in my life.
Yeah,
at
that's
that
what
point.
like fucking freaked me out. Like if anyone says they broke their leg, I'm like, holy shit! How are you still here?
But like as an adult, like you learn, you experience a lot of pain, and you learn like
Yeah,
to
I
not
guess.
super freak out. I guess unless you're like your leg is cut off or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Because then I've heard stories of people like, oh, well, yeah, I just kind of like broke my arm. I mean, it is what it is.
yeah. Well, it sucked, and my mom actually didn't. Like, she was inside, and my brother was outside playing with me, and I didn't get up. Like, I just laid on my arm and cried and screamed, and my mom was in the house probably doing something, and she looked out the window in the backyard and was like, "Get up, what are you doing?" Like she probably didn't think anything really happened. So even that night, she was like, "Oh, you probably just like sprained your wrist. It's probably just a little swollen. Like, just go to bed, and we'll take you
Jesus.
to the it was like nighttime. We'll take you in the morning." So then the next day I go, and the doctor's like, "Are you crazy? Like, his arm's broken."
Shit's broken, yo!
And like the whole time I was like very like, this is not
It's not right.
I need something, like, no good. My mom was like, "Yeah, you'll be good."
Oh god. Yeah, this kind of
like-
shit makes me cringe. You know what I mean? Like once you've had something like that happen, then it's like you can't help but feel like what's the word I'm looking for? Pain by proxy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you imagine putting a
Like if you see someone trip, you almost like feel it happening to you.
well,
Something like
other
that.
more cringy parts. Though.
Yeah, no, but I'm
where
just
there's
like,
pain.
yeah.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like picture taking a toothpick and sticking it under the nail of your big toe.
Just
and
shut up! Shut up!
Kicking a wall.
Don't do that! Don't you fucking dare!
Because at some point in your life, you've had something go under one of your nails, and it sucks.
Oh. Alright, I'm done. I'm done.
See?
We're ending this. We're done. God, I'm gonna be feeling the whole way home now. Fuck you.
What's beautiful is we both know that this example was stated in the show, and people are gonna later hear this, and they're gonna experience
They're
the
Oh.
same feeling.
You're the
Like,
worst.
What if before next
I'm
week,
glad I'm gonna be in Ohio next week.
something crazy, like, yeah. What if 30 years from now somebody listens to this show and hears
They got it.
this example and feels the same thing we felt? It's like a time capsule of cringe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember I read a book that was kind of like, oh, well, now we're having a meeting of the minds here after I've written this. And I made you think what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Whatever you say, dude. Alright, well, I think that's it.
Okay.
I think we're good. We've covered topics. We're good for now. We've
Topical.
pushed out some content.